Hey, Bridgerton lovers. Today we're talking about the season finale, episode 8, After the Rain. I am so excited to be talking about this with you, although it's a little bit sad to be ending, but we are going to see what happens in season 2 when it comes back. So this episode is all about the Duke and Duchess dealing with their problems, and at their season-ending ball, there's going to be some changes for their relationship. And then we are going to see some good things happen for Marina. We're going to see some bad things happen with the Featheringtons. And then we are going to find out, finally, the identity of Lady Whistledown. So let's get started. So the episode starts with Lady Whistledown talking about marriages behind closed doors. And we see Lady Featherington shutting the door on Lord Featherington. We see Will in bed with his wife. And then we also see the Queen, who is dealing with her husband, having another episode. And then we see Lady Bridgerton, who's in bed, and she rolls over and she puts her hand on where her husband's pillow is, only to wake up and remember, that he's not there. And then we also see Simon and Daphne getting their portrait done by Sir Granville. And they don't look very happy, and he's asking them, he's like, you can move closer. And then Simon and Daphne are talking all about him leaving at the end of the season after their ball. And Daphne tells him that she would like him to attend their ball. Otherwise, it will raise some questions with everyone. We see Eloise trying to get information out of Benedict about Genevieve, and he won't give her any. And then we are at the Featherington house. Penelope goes into Marina's room to check on her after everything that happened in the last episode. And Marina is up and she is packing, and she thinks, since she has successfully aborted her baby, that she is just going to go home now. And then they see that there is a caller at their home, and they see that it's a Mr. Crane. Daphne comes with Lady Featherington from the market, and they come to the house and think it's Sir George Crane, but they find out that it's actually Philip Crane, his brother, and he is there to tell them that Sir George actually died in battle, and that he had been writing to Marina saying that they were going to get married and they were going to run away and have their baby together when he died. So in this next scene, we see Eloise go to the modiste, and Genevieve answers the door, and she's like, Lady Bridgerton, please come back tomorrow when we are open. And Eloise is like, oh no, I need a dress for my sister's ball. You can get me in. And so Genevieve lets her in, and Eloise is talking about the Featheringtons and the author of Lady Whistledown, trying to get information and see what Genevieve knows, trying to prove her point that Genevieve is Lady Whistledown. And we also see Benedict, tiptoeing in the background of the modiste, listening to their conversation. And he's very upset with Eloise. And Genevieve thinks that Eloise is talking to her because she's trying to protect her brother, Benedict, but really it's because Eloise believes that she's Lady Whistledown. So Daphne is back at Hastings' house trying to get it ready for the ball. And she's trying to get an explanation from Simon as to why he made that vow to his father before he goes to Will's boxing match. And Simon just says to her that she is better off without him. And then we are at the match, and there are a lot of people there betting, and Will has agreed to throw the match for Lord Featherington so they can make a lot of money. And Lord Featherington goes up to these two guys, and they don't want to trust him, so he gives them the deed to his house just so they will trust him, to prove that, you know, he's not lying, that his man will win. So we are back at the Featherington house, and Mr. Philip Crane is there to ask Marina to marry him. He says it's his duty to help her after the liberties that his brother took with her. But Marina says that she doesn't want to marry him because she doesn't know him or love him. After Philip Crane leaves, Marina says to Lady Featherington that she doesn't need to be part of any more schemes or arrangements now that she is no longer with child. So we see Daphne in the study, and she is searching through all of Simon's dad's things in that study. And she finds all of the unopened letters that Simon sent to his dad. And she reads them. And then Lady Danbury shows up to help her get ready for the ball. And she asks Lady Danbury if she knew, and Lady Danbury says yes. And then they talk all about how horrible of a dad Simon's father was. So back at the match, Antony and Sienna are there. Antony sees Sienna with this other man, and they keep eyeing each other up, and then they end up under the bleachers together, and they're kissing, and then they have sex under there. And then at the end, we see Will decides to throw the fight, and Simon realizes this, and he's really upset with Will. So at the end, when Will's back getting cleaned up, Simon goes back to see him, and he talks to him about throwing the fight. And Simon tells him, you know, if you needed money, you could have asked. And Will tells him, I don't need your charity. And Simon says, what's happened to your honor? And Will says to him, what could be more honorable than taking care of one's family? You know, kind of throwing it in Simon's face. And Will tells Simon that he needs to go and worry about his own marriage and family. After the match, we see Lord Featherington, and he's at home, and he shows Lady Featherington all of the money that he won, and he tells her not to worry, and she doesn't need to ask questions about where he got it from. So we are now back at the Bridgerton house. Simon and Daphne have gone to Bridgerton house to see Francesca after she arrives home from her trip with her aunt in Bath. And Benedict goes over to talk to Eloise, and he tells her to never do what she did the other day with Genevieve again. And Antony comes over, and he's like, who are you talking about? And Benedict is like, oh, I have this thing with my lady friend Genevieve. I have this thing with Genevieve, the owner of the Modiste. And Antony's like, oh, good for you. Which everyone was really surprised, because it's not like Antony to talk like that. So everyone is there being happy, and Colin is singing, and Francesca is playing the pianoforte and showing everybody what she learned. And then Penelope comes in to see Eloise, and they start chatting about Lady Whistledown, and Eloise tells Penelope, I know who Lady Whistledown is. And Penelope's like, who? And she's really, surprised and a little worried. And Eloise is like, it's Genevieve from the Modiste. And Penelope is like, oh, okay. And then we see Hyacinth and Gregory, bothering Simon the whole time. And Simon is really good about it, and he's actually really good with children, we see. And this makes Daphne really happy, and Simon seems really happy all during this scene. So we are at the Featherington house, and the girls are trying on their new dresses now that they have money again. And then Marina is walking in the hallway, and she feels a really weird feeling, movement, or whatever in her stomach. And she is like, drops her plate, and Lady Featherington comes out, and she's like, I need a doctor. So the doctor tells Marina that she is still with child, and he's just like, did you really think a tea was going to fix your problems? So then we see Anthony, and he is with Sienna again, and he's asking Sienna to come to the ball with him. And he's like, my sister is now the Duchess, and no one would dare say anything. And she's like, maybe not to you. So then we are back at Hastings' house, and we see Daphne and Simon are admiring their portrait, the finished portrait that they were having done at the beginning of the episode. And they're doing this right before guests arrive. And Simon tells Daphne, after she tells him how good he was with Hyacinth and Gregory, and he's like, I still don't want any of my own children. And then Rose comes in before they could finish their conversation and tells them that the guests have started to arrive. So everyone is here at this ball, of course, because it's the last ball of the season, so everyone's there. Featheringtons arrive, and Philippa goes off with Mr. Finch. And then the other ladies come over to chat with Lady Featherington. And, they're being rude, stuck-up ladies, as they always are. And they're like, where's Lord Featherington? Off celebrating still, I see, from his big win. And, they said, I see some things never change. Right after this, we see Lord Featherington at a brothel. And at this brothel, he thinks he's going into this special room that they saved just for him. But once he's inside, he realizes that the two men that he gave the deed to his home and made the huge bet with are there. So we know this can't be good. So back at the ball, we see Colin, and he is going over to talk to Penelope. And Penelope's like, I need to tell you something really important, and she's getting ready to tell him that she loves him. But he's like, I'm leaving. I've finally listened to you, and I'm ready to go and travel the world. And Penelope's like, oh. And he asks her what it was that she was going to tell him, and she's like, I don't know, I forgot. And he asks if she wants to dance, and she's like, nope, I'm all danced out. And then she actually ends up like rushing out and leaving. So while at the ball, Eloise finds out from one of the Queen's people the location and time that they are going to try and capture Lady Whistledown. So Eloise leaves the ball to try and stop Lady Whistledown from going there, and trying to stop her from getting captured. So then we switch over to Antony, who has arrived at Sienna's place, and when he goes to the door, that other man is there that she was with, and Sienna comes over and she tells him that with the other man, he doesn't wish to change her and try to make her into some fancier person, and she also does not want to be a different person than she already is and doesn't want to change, and that he needs to just let her go. And he's like, "You're right, I'm sorry." And then he leaves. So we are with Eloise now, and she is at the printing house in the carriage, and she sees this other carriage stop, and she goes to get out. She's like, "Lady Whistledown," but then she hears the investigators coming, and she is like, "Go, it's a trap." So the carriage with who we assume is Lady Whistledown leaves, and then we are back at the ball, and Simon and Daphne are going to do, their last dance of the season, the waltz that they promised they would do together. And as they're dancing, it starts to rain, and so everybody rushes off of the dance floor except for Daphne. And Simon tries to pull her, and she just wants to stay on the dance floor in the rain. And then there are others that try to come and join Daphne on the dance floor then once they see her staying. And Lady Danbury stops them, and she's like, "Nope, I think it's time to go." So everybody leaves, and Simon and Daphne are left on the dance floor alone in the rain. So while they're out there, Daphne tells Simon that she read the letters from his dad, or to his dad, the ones that his dad did not read. And she tells him that she is tired of pretending to not love him when she loves, everything about him, including his flaws and everything about him that's imperfect, including all of the dark sides of him that he thinks are the worst parts of him. And she tells him that, it has to be his decision to love her back. It can't be anyone else's decision. So after the ball, we go over to the Featheringtons. They have arrived home, and there are investigators there, and Lady Featherington's like, "Where's Marina?" And Marina comes down the steps, and then her lady's maid tells her that it's about Lord Featherington and that he's dead. And they're asking questions. Lady Featherington goes in to Lord Featherington's study and goes into, his little drawer and sees that none of the money is there and it's all gone. And she starts crying because they have, nothing now. Back at the Hastings home, Daphne is in her room, and Simon comes in, and he tells her that he doesn't want to be alone, but he doesn't know how to be the man that she needs him to be. And Daphne tells him that he just stays. She just needs him to stay. So she tells him to stay, and they can get through all this together. And then they start kissing, and they go to bed, and they make love. And this time, Simon does not pull out. I will be right back. I'm going to go put on a coat of mascara. So everyone is getting ready to leave London now. And Marina is getting ready to leave, and she's going to actually marry Sir Philip Crane, Sir George's brother, now that she knows that she is still with child. And she asks Lady Featherington how she deals, or how she's dealt with 22 years of being married and not being in love. And Lady Feathering tells her, "You'll find things to love. Small things." And then Lady Featherington finds out who's going to inherit everything now that Lord Featherington has died. We see Colin leaving for Greece. Simon and Daphne say they're going to stay in London. Anthony is going to look for someone to be his Viscountess. We see Eloise talk to Benedict and find out, she realizes once talking to him, because Genevieve was with him last night, that Genevieve couldn't be Lady Whistledown. So now she's got to figure out who Lady Whistledown is still. At the end of the episode, we see someone in a carriage. They have their hood up with a paper, and it's signed Lady Whistledown. And Lady Whistledown is talking in the background, and she says, "There's no ending in sight for this author who recently became aware of a scheme to unmask me by one worthy opponent indeed. Perhaps I will come forward one day, though you must know, dear reader, that decision shall be left entirely up to me." And then we see the person in the carriage remove their hood, and we see that it's Penelope, which is crazy, because, like, I don't know if that's who you thought it was. That's who I thought it was at the very beginning. I thought it was Penelope, because she was kind of the one that was pushed to the side. Nobody really paid attention to her. But then, throughout the rest of the episodes, I didn't think it was her. But now I see that it actually was Penelope, which is crazy. For the very ending of the episode, though, we jump forward in time, and we see Daphne giving birth with Simon and her mom by her side, and then she finally gives birth, and it's a boy, and they're all so happy and excited, and they decide to keep with the Bridgerton tradition and name him with a name that starts with A. So this is how the season ends. I think it was a really good ending. I think episode 7 was a little bit boring, and then they tried to throw in a lot of information into episode 8. So I liked the show. I feel like not every episode was what I expected it to be, though. But it was still a really great show and a really great storyline. I think not every episode had the information in it the way I think I would have liked it. Let me know if you guessed who Lady Whistledown was. This has been an amazing 4 weeks for me to record all of this for you and get to watch these episodes. I cannot wait for season 2 and to see what happens with Anthony. Comment below and let me know what TV shows you'd like to see me do next. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you love TV shows, recaps, reviews, and makeup. Thank you again, and I hope you all have a really great day.